be sent to everyone after the event. So I will now hand over to Alejandro Ortiz. Very, very warm welcome to Alejandro Ortiz.
Well, Jana, thank you very much for the kind introduction, and thank you for sharing these very nice slides about the association, because in the end, it's good, you know, to have this very first event just to launch the association with all of you guys. So that's great. We keep on admitting people. So if you see my screen trying to admit people, it's part of, you know, allowing others just to join the session. Perfect. So the session is being recorded because in the end, guys, we really want you to be able to see this session afterwards if you want, because it's all about practicing communication channels, right? So I will be recording the session. Perfect. So great. Let me just share my screen. Perfect. Great. Perfect. So can everybody see my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Perfect. Great.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So guys, in terms of the audio, right, please try to keep your microphone on mute. If you want to speak up, more than happy to answer all your questions, right? But please to have it in mute while the session just continues, okay? So the session today, it's learn how to communicate with all your senses, which is the main topic of today's session, okay? Just in case, guys, if the communication is not that good, because of course there's some lagging in the connection, just let me know. I will be repeating the part that was not clear, okay? Because sometimes, especially everybody working from home, that might happen, you know, that the connection is not that good, but I will try my best just to repeat whatever is needed, okay? Perfect, great. So my name, Alejandro Ortiz. I'm Colombian, I'm Latino, that's why I have this accent. I hope you like my accent, guys, and it's clear for you. I see some of you just laughing, which is good because I love smiles. If you want to be in touch with me later on, please don't hesitate to reach out to me over WhatsApp, or even, you know, my social media channels, LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. You can screenshot this slide if you want to be in touch with me later, okay? Perfect. So about the workshop, my intention with this is because in the end, we really wanted with the Mongolian Society to run this event face-to-face because it's the best way to communicate. We couldn't do it because, of course, the lockdown. However, I would like you guys to participate, to speak up, to speak your mind, because in the end, everybody is different in communication channels. So if you participate, that's fine. You can either turn on your microphone and make a comment, or just type your question in the chat box, okay? And also, guys, you can, I encourage you to have a piece of paper, right? And a pen, because in the end, it's important just to make notes of whatever outcome you have of the session. Perfect? Amazing. So let's get started, guys. So I would like to ask you a question. Is think of a current situation which involves communication that you would like to improve communication. So think of a current situation, either at a personal level, at a professional level, which you would like to improve communication. Think about it and have it in mind, right? Because my intention is help you find the solution to that question over the slides, right? So think about that question and just have it in mind. Perfect. So the objectives of the session, we have three. First of all, description of the visual, auditory, kinesthetic communication channels. You're going to see and notice the differences among the three communication channels. Also, you will be able to identify the main characteristics of the nonverbal language of each communication channel. Because in the end, just to give you a hint, it's important verbal communication, which is words, but also the nonverbal is also very important. And the third objective of the session is understand how to address a person who has a communication channel other than mine. Great? So that will be basically the outcomes of this session, right? So to give you a bit of theory, so we have the VAK model, which was created by Berg and Fleming in the 20s, and they were understanding and assessing different people through communication, right? So the VAK model, it's basically because of the initials, visual, auditory, kinesthetic communication channels, was developed in the 20s to understand and classify the most common ways in which people learn and communicate. It doesn't matter if we are in Australia, we are in Mongolia, we are in the US, we are in Europe. It doesn't matter. In the end, everybody is a human being. And we communicate using the 3 communication channels, right? So in the end, if you have nowadays a communication issue at the moment, don't worry about if the other person is Australian or is Latina. Don't worry about it. It's all about being familiar with the communication channel in order to address the session. Perfect. If everybody can just mute so that we can just be more focused on the presentation. Thank you. Perfect. So we have 3 communication channels, as I said: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. I'm going to stop the presentation and I will be telling you something, guys. So visual communication is all through your eyes, right? Auditory communication is through your ears. And kinesthetic communication is through your senses. It's through, for example, tactile, touching, plus smelling, plus tasting, right? So think about this. The communication channel that is visual is not the only one that exists, because most people connect with us through touching or smelling or tasting, right? So that's why it's very important to differentiate all those 3 communication channels. So remember again, visual communication through your eyes, auditory through your ears, and kinesthetic through touching, smelling, and tasting, okay? I'm going to go back to the presentation. Perfect. Is any questions so far, guys? Jana, let me know if somebody just typed something on the chat box.
I will let you know.
Okay, thank you very much, Jana. Perfect. So this is going to be the first way to identify communication channels, guys. So visual communication. The way a person dresses tells you about the communication channel preference. So guys, we're going to be speaking up. So please turn on your microphones, and if somebody wants to tell me, what do you think? What do you see in this picture, in this person? Try to describe this person's way of dressing up. Who wants to speak up? What do you see in the picture?
It's more formal.
It's formal. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. So
yeah, looks like working in a manager or leadership position.
That's very good. Thank you, Jana, for your comment. Somebody else wants to tell something else?
Looks like more sophisticated.
Yeah, sophisticated. That's a very good comment, Soko. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Also, she looks really friendly, so it's easy to approach her.
Perfect.
I guess.
Okay. And think about, and thank you very much for your comment as well. So the visual person looks very tidy, very clean. Everything's organized, right? So look at the hair. It's very well done, right? So I would say she takes a bit of time to get ready before leaving home, right? And at the same time, look at the earrings and the color. Same color, you see? So it matches the earrings and the color. And also look at the shirt. You know, it's very well ironed, which is important. And she tries to pick the right clothes before leaving home. So paying attention to details in the way somebody dresses up is very visual. right? So now let's move to the second example, which is the auditory person. So who wants to tell me what do you see in this person and the differences comparing to the previous picture?
More confident.
Yeah, it's confident, yes. What else?
Little bit casual.
Yeah, a bit more casual comparing to the other one is a bit more casual, right? Somebody else? More casual, confident as well. Now pay attention to the way they both dresses. Who looks more pretty? The first one or the second one?
First one.
Yeah, that's great. The first one, right? So a person that really pays attention to the way she or he dresses up, looking very pretty, it's visual. Or the main communication channel, it's visual, because pays attention to the way she or he dresses up. The second one, it's a bit more casual. So look at the color. She's dressing up with a suit that is gray or blue or might be black or brown, and a white t-shirt. The first person pays attention more to colors. The second person, it's more plain in the usage of colors, right? It's more formal, more casual. Now, look at the third person, kinesthetic. Please try to describe that person, the third person.
Freedom.
Freedom, that's a very good quality, very good. Something else?
She's young and she's like more energetic.
Yes. Young, like freedom, more casual, right? Do you think she spends a lot of time or just dressing up before leaving home or not?
No.
Maybe not, right? It's more casual. Who looks more friendly, the first person or the second, the second person or the third person?
The first.
Okay. Who looks more relaxed?
Third.
The third person, yes, perfect. So the third person, the way she dresses up, she's more casual, she's more relaxed. So she doesn't really pay attention to the way she looks. It's more about the way she feels. So maybe she chose that shirt because it was very comfortable, because of the fabric or the sensation. But she didn't really pay attention to the way she looks, right? Look at the hair. It's a bit messy, but it's fine because for her, that's not that important. It's more about the way she feels with the hair, with the look, right? The first person paid really attention to the details and the way she dresses up. The third one is more casual, more relaxed, right? So this is the first filter for you guys to identify the differences in communication channels. Now let's move to the second slide, which is the way he dresses. So a guy. So look at this person, the visual guy. So look at him, he's very tidy. Look at his hair, look at his beard. So he spent a bit of time making his beard or trimming his beard, right? At the same time, he's combining his shirt with his blazer. Both are blue, right? But they combine in colors, right? Look at the tie. Everything is very ironed. And he looks very tidy. Look at the details of his suit, right? So this is paying attention to details in the way he classifies or chooses outfit. Now pay attention to the second person, the auditory. What do you think is the difference between the second guy and the first guy? Somebody can tell me something? Soko.
Yeah, he looks like he knows what to do in terms of his field.
Yes. That's a very good comment, Soko. So the auditory person, either man or woman, they look very intelligent, very smart. They know what they are doing. So because they like knowledge and they like science and they like, information, right? They want to be very formal, very well presented, maybe, for example, to join a meeting, but they want to be formal enough. They don't want to distract people from their knowledge. So for example, a person that is very auditory wouldn't be worrying about dressing up like the first person, because like the first person really wants people to pay attention to the way he looks. The second person is more about the information, is more about what he's speaking about. So he will be very formal, well presented, but just enough, formal enough. He doesn't want people to distract from looking at the way he looks. It's more about the way he speaks or the way he thinks about information. That's why the second person is more formal, more casual, more business oriented. Okay? And please, if you can help me to mute your microphone, please. Thank you. Perfect. Now the kinesthetic person. Okay, so the kinesthetic person. Look at this guy. He's more relaxed. He looks very friendly, but look at this. He's not wearing not even a tie. He's more relaxed, more casual. His shirt is very also relaxed. It's not completely tailored to his body, right? And look at his hair. It's a bit more messy, more relaxed, with more freedom. So these are the differences between visual, auditory, and kinesthetic person, right? I hope you managed to understand the difference, because this is only the first filter. Is there any questions so far, guys? Or you gonna let me know if somebody is asking something in the chat box?
Yeah, no questions in the chat box. Just let you know, sometimes your voice is, because of the like networking issue, maybe it's declining.
Okay, is it very constant or not?
Pardon?
Is it very constant all the time or not?
Yeah, I think it happened around 5 to 8 times.
Okay.
When you start.
Okay, perfect, great. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so if there's any question, guys, just let me know, because I will be keen to repeat what information that is not clear. Now, what are they interested into? That's another way to classify the communication channels. So a visual person pays attention to organization, details. Everything should be very tidy and good classified. So look at this image. Please let me know, guys, what do you think about this picture? What this picture tells you? Somebody wants to speak up? Okay, Soko.
I think they more perfection. I can see like more perfection things from this picture. Like, you know, what do? You have to do like certain way, 100%, make sure everything like correct. Yeah.
Yes, correct. You are completely correct. So a person that is visual, it's all about perfection and details and organization. And he or she wants to be making sure that everything is going well and it's under sequences and processes according to guidelines. That's the visual person. Now, the auditory person is more into information, as I said before, documentation. So that person, it's the typical nerd, right? That, for example, in class, he knows everything. He's very well known and he's talented and he or she studies, right? So they're very good at numbers, processes, equations, formulas. They're very good at maths or physics because they love information and they like that, okay? So this is auditory person. Now the kinesthetic person, who is the final person, is into feelings and emotions. The way you make feel a person is really important for a kinesthetic person, right? So it's all about being sad or happy depending on the situation. And that person will let you know the way he or she feels, right? So yeah, these are the differences in terms of what they are interested into. Is there any questions so far? Perfect. Any question, Jana?
No, just I'm thinking, can the people like kind of mixed in the
Yeah.
auditory and kinesthetic.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
like we have like a mixed people today joining.
Yeah, I feel like I mix it.
That you mixed what? Sorry.
Mix it in like kinesthetic and auditory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So we have a mix here, right? Some people are kinesthetic, some people are auditory. It depends. But in the end, we can have more than one channel. Okay, perfect, great. What do they ask for is the next way to classify. Perfect. So think about this. So visual person will tell you, describe the last. So the verb, the word describe means picturing something on his or her head. Second question, where did you see it? So see, visual connection. Third question, what is your point of view? Point of view is visualizing something. So when somebody tells you something that includes describe, that is picturing something, or where do you see that with the verb see, and point of view, these are visual components. So maybe that person might be visual, because depending on the way people just talk to us, we can pick the communication channel, okay? But the way, Jana, is the communication better now with my Wi-Fi? Is it better?
Yes, it's better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great. You know, this is communication, asking questions. So the second part is the auditory. Okay, the auditory. Perfect. So the auditory person will ask you what percentage, because percentage means information, means numbers, means calculations, right? So a person that asks you for a percentage is thinking about discounts or thinking about numbers or money. So the auditory person likes numbers and money. So that's why auditory person will ask you for percentages. And also, how much does it cost? If somebody wants to know about the cost, it's also auditory, because it's also about money or numbers behind the cost. Plus, explain this. Would you like to explain me more? Give me more details? Because explanation means arguments, means information behind. So a person that is asking for money, numbers, percentages, or information might be using his or her auditory communication channel. And final one, the kinesthetic, okay? So how do you feel? See, it's all about emotions. Who was involved? It's about people, because a kinesthetic like to work with people. That's why you can see in the picture below, you know, the kinesthetic just touching each other's hands, because they are into community. So people, groups, family, right? And the third question is, how do you react? Because reaction means emotions, means feelings. So if you pay attention to this again, so the visual person is trying to describe something in his or her mind, trying to picture something. The auditory person is trying to find numbers, details, and money. And the third person, that is kinesthetic, is more into emotions and feelings. Okay, perfect. The way they answer, it also give you a clue about the communication channel they use. So for example, I see what you want to say. So Jana, I see what you want to say. So you're telling me something and I can see it. You notice the difference? So when I say, I see what you're telling me. Hey, but I'm talking to you. No, but I can see it. When somebody tells you, I see it, it's visual. Or I imagine. Imagine also means, I can picture what you're talking to me in my mind. So imagination, visualization, the same thing. Or my point of view is my perception, what I can picture in my mind is. Auditory, I hear what you say. When somebody tells you, I hear what you say, is using his or her ears, because the auditory person communicates through their ears. Also, it makes sense, because the person is making calculations and playing with arguments in his or her mind. So it makes sense. is because that person made a calculation or an analysis in his or her mind. And also it sounds good. Okay, sounds good because what you talk to me makes sense. And final, the kinesthetic. So the kinesthetic person will tell you, I feel what you say. Okay, you're telling me something, I can feel it. Oh, wow, you make me feel this way. This is kinesthetic. Or I'll take that. Oh, I'll do it for you. Because that person wants to be your friend or wants to be part of your team. I'll take that. Or let me try, the intention behind. So let me try, I'll do it for you. Or I can do this. So the intention, the emotion it's behind. So now you see the difference between visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Do you have any questions, guys? Or maybe Jana, somebody asked something in the chat box?
Yeah, no questions at the moment.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jana. Perfect. So activity 1, guys, and I would like you to participate, okay? So I'm going to be asking questions and you can either raise your hand or ask Jana or maybe just type your answer in the chat box. So what communication channel is being used when a person is? So when a person is sensitive, what communication channel that person is using?
Kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic, that's very true because kinesthetic means emotions. Very good, kinesthetic. The second one, when a person is analytical.
Auditor.
Auditory, why? Because analytical is analysis, information, numbers. So it's all about processing information. It's auditory, very good. The third one, when a person is direct, tells you the things straight away, direct.
Visual.
Who said that?
Belorma.
Roma, thank you very much. Yes, visual. Because a person that is visual goes straight to the point. It's direct. It's very tidy, organized, imprecise. So when somebody is direct, visual, great. A person that is scattered. This is a bit tricky. Who has the answer?
Is that auditory?
Nope.
No.
No.
Maybe kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic, that's right. Kinesthetic, right? Because a person that is scattered doesn't pay attention to one single thing at the same time. Is more distracted, right? Is more, let's do this. No, let's do the other thing. Is more into the way he or she feels to do something, right? So it's more kinesthetic. When somebody is scattered, distracted, it's more kinesthetic, okay? This one, focused. A person that is focused is
Visual, of course.
visual.
Yeah.
That's right, visual. Somebody when is focused is visual. Very good. Somebody that is cautious.
Auditory.
Aries, thank you very much. Auditory, that's very good. Why? Because the person that is auditory wants to make different scenarios before making a decision, right? So he or she wants to make a decision when he or she has the right information, enough data, and then he or she will make the decision. She or he wants to be cautious. Okay, so auditory. Organized.
Visual.
Yes, visual. That's right. Visual. That's very good because somebody that is organized, tidy is visual. Perfect. That's very good. So now let's go with nonverbal communication. Perfect. Okay. So nonverbal communication, it's all about the body language. So when somebody is visual, that person will stare into your eyes. I would like to ask you something, guys. Have you met a person that when you're talking to them, they stare into your eyes all the time? Yes, right? And that happens. Why? Because that's the way they communicate. Okay? but also the visual person will be reaffirming the content, the verbal communication with his hands. So for example, if I say, Soko, go this way, look at my hand.
Yeah.
Or, Jana, don't do this with my hand, right? Or yes, I like this with my hand. This is very visual because they were to reassure, to reaffirm the verbal communication with the hands, right? So do this, don't do this, with hands movement, right? And also note taking. So when somebody takes notes, right, that person wants to picture something in his or her mind. So I've been looking at you guys through the camera, and I know that some of you are taking notes. That's a very visual component because, of course, you will be reviewing or reading your notes again once the workshop finishes, and you will be trying to understand the situation because you could take notes, right? You will be able to remember. So taking notes is very visual, okay? Now let's move to the auditory. So cautious movements. So I would like to ask you a question, guys. Have you been with somebody that when you are talking to them, they are doing something like this? Look at me for a moment in the camera. They do like this, or they do like this, right?
Yeah.
Or they do like this, right? Or they do this. Those cautious movements means they are paying attention. This is auditory, okay? And also active listening is auditory. When somebody's really, speechless and listening to you, auditory. Or lateral movements, talking to you like this and moving cautiously his head like this. It's like paying attention. This is auditory. So when somebody makes cautious movements, and especially with his or her ears, it's auditory. Now let's move to the kinesthetic. So kinesthetic, it's all about constant movement. So you will see the person, even on the chair, doing something like this, moving around and being distracted and moving hands and touching his head like this because that person cannot be all the time looking at the camera. Have you met people like this? Yes. Or people who are just not paying attention, or you will see the person just moving his computer or her computer, right? So those people who are in constant movement are kinesthetic. Or people who express emotions, or people who are sensitive and like touching, right? So for example, when you are with a person and that person touches your shoulder or gives you a hug, that person is more kinesthetic. So now you can see the differences among different people, right? Perfect. Any questions so far, guys? Or maybe Jana?
Oh, good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. How is the connection, Jana? Is it better?
Yes.
Great. That's amazing.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know. Great. Perfect. So communication exercise, guys. I would like to ask somebody to be a volunteer. So who wants to be the volunteer? Because I would like to be doing an activity with that person. Soko?
Yeah.
Great, Soko. Thank you very much. By the way, can I ask you to turn on your camera, by the way?
Sure. One. Yeah.
Soko, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Can you listen to me properly?
Yes.
Perfect, great. If my camera is a bit slow sometimes because of the connection, but I will be here, right? Okay, so Soko, what communication channel would you like me to explain a bit more?
Maybe the third one because I guess I'm familiar with the first two.
So the kinesthetic one, right? You would like to be the kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to be talking about a topic that you like. So what topic would you like to talk about? Whatever topic that you're really passionate about.
Maybe we can talk about interview. How
Interview?
can we approach? Yeah, how can we approach with these kind of people during the interview?
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to be the interviewer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Yeah.
going to be the person who is interviewed. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I'm going to be a kinesthetic interviewer
Mm-hmm.
because you might find interviews who are kinesthetic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to be only playing with kinesthetic features so you can identify what he or she is asking for. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so, well, Soko, thank you very much for joining this meeting. You know, this is a very important interview for you because I know you want to be part of this organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
How exciting is this?
Oh, it's good. This is my first.
And you know what, Soko, when I just met you and I just saw your description, right, and your CV, super nice. Are you from Mongolia?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing country. How come you came to Australia to study here and to work? This is amazing. I like it. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Right, perfect. So, Soko, a question for you. Please tell me something about an experience that you had back in your country working, right? That involved people and the way you dealt with that situation. I mean, tell me about a problem or tell me about an issue that you had with people and the way you overcame the situation.
So I'll talk about my experience back in Mongolia. I worked at one company. It was international. It was European company. They're doing international projects like all over the world, and then I was fortunate enough to work with them for 1 year. So the most of them, my employees were older, like 40, 50s, they all have experience. So for me, I was just graduated my university. I was just 20 years old at the time. And then, I find like very difficult problems between me and those who experienced employees, because if there's a problem, so they try to solve this problem like as they do every time.
Okay.
They don't really.
So thank you very much for this. I'm going to be making a pause here, right? I'm going to be asking the other guys a question. So for the rest of the people, what communication channel do you think Soko was using? Who wants to participate? So what communication channel do you think Soko was using?
I think she was more auditory.
Yes, all three.
Yeah.
Yes, and a bit of visual. However, my communication channel, which was my communication channel? Kinesthetic, right? So the thing is that, guys, when you find a person that is kinesthetic, right, try to match his or her communication channel. Because Soko's communication channel was more auditory. So it was a more, first of all, she was very formal, right? I did this back in Mongolia, and the tone of her voice was very plain. Did you notice that? Okay, that's great. However, we just need to adapt to the speaker. So put more emotion, right? And smile more, because the kinesthetic person is more smiley and move his or her hands, right? And you can just talk about excitement or happiness, because your words tells you that you're also using or making a rapport with his communication channel, okay? we're going to be repeating the exercise. So is that okay? So you are in mute.
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. So you want me to just talk about like the static way?
No, I'm going to be asking you the same question.
Uh-huh.
Try to be more kinesthetic, because remember that when you want to engage with others, it's better to match the speaker's communication channel, right? So, Soko, it's great to have you here. Thank you for your interest to join this company. It's how excited is that, right?
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, well, Soko, I have a question for you. Please tell me about an issue, an experience that you had back in your country, that had an issue that involved people, and tell me how you overcame the situation. All yours.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, but I just get some help from some co-workers, and yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to answer those because your response, yeah.
I know, that's true, that's true. That's why the thing is that, just a clue for you, try to put more emotion, right? Smile more because it's kinesthetic. Try to show your hands, right? And talk about your experience. It's all about your experience, right? Just put a bit of emotion because I'm being a kinesthetic interviewer, right? So all yours again. So talk about your experience.
There's a lot of down experience in my first job.
Yes.
So because I was new, not experienced enough to compare with those people, and it was challenging. Yeah. But I'm happy with I went through those challenges and then got to experience a little bit.
Great.
Yeah.
Now try to do something, Sako. Try to move your camera a bit more so that I can see part of your body. At least part of your neck, right? And part of your body.
Okay. Because it's a laptop. Sorry, it's a computer, so I can't move enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, can you stand up?
Yeah.
Perfect. Great, better. Now, show me your hands.
Yeah.
Great, perfect, great, amazing. Now, repeat your answer. So, tell me about the experience back in your country dealing with people. What do you do?
There's a lot of challenges in my field. There's a lot of like up down things, but I'm so happy now on from this point to the back because I went through a lot of challenges, and those all helped me to who I am today.
Great. So, guys, for the rest of the people, could you notice the difference in the interview? So Soko now is moving more her hands. Is talking about, I'm happy because I managed to do this. Is showing more her body. Because kinesthetic is more about body language and communication with the whole body, it's better. So when you identify the speaker's communication channel, you can engage better with the other person. How do you feel, Soko?
Yeah, because and personally, I like to talk with my hands. That can help sometimes to help to bring my some words or bring my some emotions to other people. Sometimes like because it's always I have to think about in English, right? Sometimes there's a not word, but my hands help me to to understand. There's a friend, so sometimes we're talking and then I'm trying to explain one word, but there is not word, right? And then I use my hand and then she helped me.
So you know what happens, Soko? Now you're more relaxed. You're smiling more. You're moving your hands. That's kinesthetic. Even though your main communication channel, it's auditory, like other people said, right? You are being more relaxed and showing your smile. That's kinesthetic. So it's all about trying to matching the speaker's communication channel so that you can engage with the person.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice the difference?
Yeah.
Great. So guys, round of applause for Choco. Thank you. Very much. So I'm going to be sharing the screen because we're going to finish the session, right, guys? So these are the strategies to influence and communicate properly. I know, I hope, you know, we can have a full workshop of communication, but of course, this is only 1 hour event. Happy to be launching more events with the Mongolian Society later on. However, this is just a brief of the communication channel workshop for today's session, right? So if you're the speaker or interviewer or person you're talking to is visual, these are 4 key communication channels. First of all, summarize your observations. Be precise, clear, summary, because they like detailed and precise information. Secondly, be clear, be concise, organized with your ideas. So first of all, I want to talk about this. Secondly, I want to talk about this. Thirdly, I want to talk about this, because when they notice that there's organization, they will love you. So because everything's organized. The third tip is look at him, look at her. If you're talking to a person that is visual, look at them, at their eyes. And the fourth tip is dress up properly, because as we saw in the pictures at the beginning, right, a person that is visual looks very tidy. So if we pay attention to the way they dress up and we do it as well, we will be creating a very nice match with the person, okay? If the person is auditory, remember information. So present arguments that support what you say. So I would like to talk about my experience in Mongolia when working there, right? And me as an interviewer, I'm an auditory interviewer, right? So I will be asking you about information and documents and data. So present arguments so that you will be matching with the person. Show evidence, right? Show figures and percentages, because they love when you talk about numbers. And also show congruence between what you speak and what you present, because they would like you to be congruent. Okay, I'm talking about 20% increase. Okay, show me the evidence of the 20% increase. You're talking about 50% decrease. Okay, show me the evidence. So being congruent. Show numbers, information, figures, because auditory people like this. And if you find a kinesthetic person, a kinesthetic interviewer, smile. They love when you smile. For example, in Soko's example, I was as a kinesthetic interviewer, so smile and tell stories related to your experience, right? Tell stories. Tell a story about something so you can engage with the person. Also, feel relaxed and calm during the conversation, because they like more the connection, right? Be kind and friendly. So these are the differences. So you see, if you talk about numbers all the time, you can be successful, but not with everybody, because not everybody likes numbers. If you want to be precise and organized, that's good, but not everybody likes that. So it all depends on adapting to the person that I have in front of me, right? So I know, guys, that this is, of course, an overview of the communication workshop. I can show you more later on, right? However, just for this 1 hour event, we wanted to give you a snapshot of what is communication about. And I hope you loved it. So this is, guys, at the end of the session. Again, if you want to be with me in touch after this session, more than happy to answer your questions. You can just send me a text message or even be in touch with me on social media. And thank you, Mongolian Association, for your time. I will hand over to Jana because I know she has information to share with you. But guys, thank you very much. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have some other questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Alejandro, on behalf of Mongolian Society. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for your insightful presentations. Yeah, I feel like I better understanding, the interviewer in the interview situation. And yeah, I would like also thank to Jenny, Soko, and Ali for being a wonderful presentation for this event. And finally, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today, which they are around 40 people joined today. So yeah, that comes to the end of our session today, and we really look forward to seeing you everyone at the next workshop coming up. So keep an eye on our Facebook page and LinkedIn. Have a great day, everyone.
By the way, guys, if you want to take a picture for all of you so that we can just have a very nice remember of this workshop, that will be nice. If you want to turn on your cameras, that will be great. Don't be shy, guys. We don't bite. That's great. So, by the way, guys, a question for you. Me as a speaker, mostly kinesthetic, auditory, or visual? What would you say? Who says visual?
Yeah,
Kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Who says kinesthetic?
I think I would say you're more kinesthetic.
Okay, great. Who says auditory? Okay, some, right? So, guys, the key to be a good speaker, try to use all the communication channels, because if you use all of them, you can communicate with many people, right? So move your body, be engaging, that's kinesthetic. Dress up properly, look tidy, that's visual. And also ask for information, numbers, be precise, that's auditory, so that you can engage with all people, right? So I'm going to be taking a screenshot, guys. Please smile. 1, 2, 3. And one more, 1, 2, and 3. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. And I hope to see you very soon. And Jana, thank you very much, and team, for the great organization of the event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alejandro.
My pleasure.
Thank you.